A lot of rappers still, it seems like, want to be Tupac. They want to have his popularity. They want people to love them like everyone loves him. But why do you think no one's succeeding?
Well, because this is what they fail to realize about Tupac. In order for them to be Tupac, they would have to die before they peaked. Right before they peaked, they would have to die. So if you don't die, you can't do it. Bottom line, if you don't go die, you're not gonna be the next Tupac, because it ain't gonna be a next Tupac. Straight up.
My definition of a thug, nigga.
When I'm saying thug, I mean not criminal, someone to beat you over the head. I mean the underdog. If the person that had nothing succeeds, he's a thug, because he overcame all obstacles. It doesn't have anything to do with the dictionary's version of thug.
Yo, YouTube, what up? It's your homie Gab, I'm in the building, and this is MAKAVELI Media. So last week, right, I posted a clip. I made a video about 50 Cent saying that basically Tupac wasn't real, and Pac was playing the role of a thug, and basically it cost him his life. And I looked down in the comment section, and I see where a lot of people actually agree with 50 Cent and took his side on the whole situation. Now, I didn't agree with that. I can't agree with that because I think a lot of the people had that mindset that Tupac was fake or playing a role. I don't think they actually come from the hood, man. I don't think they actually come from the streets. And here's why. Because they got like a fantasy of what like a gangster rapper is supposed to be. By those standards, right, that because Pac went to school, because 50 called him an art student, because Pac went to school, or, you know what I mean, something of that nature, that Tupac couldn't be real. He was an art student, right? But yo, I'm from the hood. I'm from one of the worst cities on the planet, not just in America. Baltimore is always in the top 3 in murders every year, like the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Always top 3. And I live in the city. I grew up in the city. I still live in the city. And what I see and what I've seen my whole life is in the hood. You know what I saw? In my hood, we had everything. When I was coming up, man, we had rappers, singers, poets, basketball players, running backs, boxers, fat man, skinny man, nurses, drug addicts, pimps, prostitutes, karate guys, all types of shit, gangbangers. All in the same fucking hood. Nerds. Same streets. All coexisting. All knowing each other. All interacting. My whole point is, just because they were different didn't mean they didn't come from the hood. Everything in the hood ain't the same. But we in the streets all together at the same time. It could pop off anywhere, at the supermarket, at the corner store, at the liquor store, at the gas station. People not from the hood, like I said, they got their own fantasy or their own interpretation of what the hood is and who from the hood and who not. And what I'm saying is, just because somebody act a little differently don't mean they ain't from the hood. Tupac was raised in different ghettos all over the country. You hear the stories how he was getting beat up and all types of shit until he learned how to survive on his own. He was thrown into the fire. In multiple cities, every time he got to a new city, guess where Afeni was raising him or taking him to? The ghetto. So for people to say he was an art student or to judge him over the video when he was 18, yo, a lot had changed. And like I said, every drug dealer, every murderer that I knew or hung with or whatever, every one of them went to school somewhere else. I went to school with some of them. What the fuck does that mean? That's state law. You got to go to school till you're a certain age, right? So every murderer, pickpocketer, every tyrant you could think of been set in somebody's classroom. So please miss me with that narrative. That's just stupidity. He went to art school. So did 50. 50 might have went to vocational school. 50 might have been a goddamn mechanic. I don't know. he might have went to beautician school for all I know. But my whole point is, what does that have to do with what Tupac would later become? That's what I want you to focus on. What's real? Let's go through what you guys consider real. And then let's apply it to Tupac. So, coming from the hood, you just don't come one way. Every murderer I know went to school some point in their life. Every murderer, every drug dealer I know went to school at some point in their life. So for people to be like, well, Tupac went to art school, so how can he be, hello? Once again, every murderer I ever knew went to school somewhere. He just, I'm a thug. I ain't never going to school. Shit don't make sense. It's like, by that standard, every rapper you see is playing a role. Because every one of them went to school some goddamn where. Yo, let me say this about Tupac. And this I know for a fact. When Afeni was raising Tupac in New York, and then Baltimore, and then Oakland, and then he moved to Atlanta, and this, that, and the third. Yo, she was raising Pac in hoods. He wasn't raised in no suburbs nowhere. Even when he went out to Cali, it was the concrete jungle. He had to fend for his goddamn self. His mother was on drugs. He was having problems. I'm trying to figure out, how can Pac be fake? How can he be fake? And he was put in these real situations. Yeah, he had artistic talent. You know, he liked to write and stuff like that. But guess what? That don't mean shit. Once again, I know killers that can draw. Can draw. Got some of the most beautiful handwriting you ever seen in your life. And hitters. So because somebody got talent, they don't mean that they, you know what I'm trying to say? Okay. Let's go by your definition of real. All right? You guys that got this fixation, this fantasy, what gangsters and thugs supposed to move like, right? Let's go by your definition. The Pac bust his strap. Yeah. We've heard about, it's been well publicized that Tupac, yeah, he bust his strap. Okay. Has Pac ever been to jail? Yeah, several times. You can check those two off the list right away. Is Pac from the hood? Did he grow up in the streets? Yeah. He was even homeless. He grew up in the streets. Rough neighborhoods all over the country. Multiple cities. Always in the hood. Let's check that off the list too. What else y'all think is real? Do he drink and smoke? Did he smoke weed? Did he drink? All day long. Okay. Hey, did he get into any fights? Yeah. A lot of them. Okay. Whatever criteria do you have for being real? I'm just going by what the fantasy, the myth that you guys like to, perpetuate as your definition of real. Oh, did he sell drugs? Yeah. Not long, but he did it. You can check it off the list. I'm just trying to think what else could he have done, man, in your opinion, that he's fake. What else could he have done? He bust cops. How many rappers can say they did that? But enough with what you consider real. Here's what I consider real. Speaking up for his people. Yeah, he did that too, a lot of it. That's what probably cost him his life. Speaking up for his people. Giving back to the community, coming back to the hood, giving opportunities and jobs to people. That's real. He did that too. Pac put a lot of rappers on, not just the Outlaws, but, I remember here, before he died, it was dudes here in Baltimore like, yo, Pac gonna sign us. When I talked to Layla Steinberg, she said, Gab, Pac had so many plans. He was coming back to Baltimore. He was talking about signing people. I said, I know this for a fact. But it never happened because he lost his life. So many different things, man. He represented for the children, man. He had things in place and donated his time and money to helping at-risk and underprivileged children. That's real to me. Okay. But that definition of real, right? Where does 50 or any of these other rappers, where they wind up at on your list of real? And what I just broke down to you, the criteria of being real, right? Then who realer than Tupac in the whole rap game? Don't worry, I'll wait. One of the dopest stories I ever heard about Tupac. Every city and state they would go to, when they meet the fans, Tupac would give the fans his real phone number. Like, regular little dudes, his real phone number. And they would say, yo, Pac, you can't get him your real phone number. And Pac say, shit, that's my homeboy now. In every city and every state, I'm going to have homeboys. And sure enough, when they came back to that, that town, a couple months later to do a show or whatever, Pac would call them dudes, meet up with them dudes, had them dudes, bring them chicks, bring them smoke, whatever he want, and make them part of his soldiers. Army building. Every city and every state. Real. Anyway, I need you guys to share and like this video. Don't forget to sub to the channel. This is MAKAVELI Media. Turn on them post notifications so you'll be the first ones to get it when I drop that shit. Look down right now. Make sure you gave me a thumbs up. And oh yeah, leave a tip on the way out. Got a little tip jar in the comment section, my Cash App. Throw $1 at your homie. Anyway, it's been a pleasure as always. I'm signing off. Your homie Big Gab. I'm about to hit y'all with the peace.